Today's test is a product comparison test. So what we're comparing is two timing belt kits. Timing belts are the thing that makes your engine run, if you don't know what timing belts are. What we're doing is we're comparing them to see if there's any huge differences, any substantial differences between the so-called budget version and the more expensive version. It's way too easy for these parts people just to tell you, this is the best, this is the best. And you ask them why, and they look at you like, now my disclaimer is that this is not a scientific test. It's just merely a visual product review or product assessment comparison. That's all it is. It's nothing else. It's just a product comparison. So what we're going to do, we're going to find out to see if there's any huge differences and if it's worth paying extra money, or is the quality virtually the same and they are just going off reputation or anything just to try and swindle a bit of money out of you. So this is what we're going to look at now. So here with our two products, we've got our budget version and our so-called premium version. As you can see, they're both very much the same. They come with a complete kit, belt, pulleys and pump. So this is how they come initially. So on the left, you've got the shop's home brand, High Tenacity. And on the right, we've got Reuvel, which is meant to be a German manufacturer. You can see they're pretty much similar in everywhere except for different coloured pumps. One seems to have a black plastic head, and the other one has an aluminium cast head. Budget timing belt is supplied with a Dayco timing belt, whereas the premium batch is with the Reuvel, the same manufacturer as the water pump itself. Now, this doesn't tell the full story because these could still be outsourced or manufactured by another company. So just because it says the same name and it says it's made in Germany doesn't necessarily mean it has been made in Germany, if that makes sense. There's a distinct difference between being made and being supplied. So you can have a part supplier from Germany, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's been made in Germany. They're a little bit tricky, to be honest. Now just doing a brief visual of the parts, and you can see that you see me here weighing here. They're identical parts. They've got the same markings on them. Everything's identical. As you can see, these pulleys here, they're made in the same place by the same company. So there's very little to no difference on this part here. So you are just actually being convinced into buying something that doesn't really make a difference. The only slight changes come is when you start to look at the water pump, which is blatantly obvious like we showed earlier. Now from the water pumps, one is plastic and one is aluminium. And looking at the aluminium one, I've always preferred these, but looking at closer, it's changed my opinion a little bit. As you can see, it's all cast aluminium, which is brilliant. I mean, it's good in theory, but when you look closer inside, the actual head of it is not cleanly cut. And I can sense some slight play in the shaft, very slight play like slack or a loose bearing. If we get closer into the actual head itself, you can see there that the cast is not particularly clean, so I'm not sure if that's going to hinder water flow or erode. I'm not exactly sure, but it's just not a good quality finish, and it just felt like some slight movement inside the actual shaft itself, and that's the only thing that I would say felt different about that particular pump. So onto the premium pump, the more premium pump. Now, this felt a lot better. The shaft felt there was no play in it. There was no sort of movement. And it's very important that there's no movement because really and truly, these are the main cause of timing belt failures. Now, inside the plastic housing, the plastic head housing is nice and smooth. So you're not going to have no problems in terms of water flow or anything like that. And it's just generally a cleaner, better, just seems a little bit better. I mean, there isn't much difference, and you'd only probably realize this difference if they were both next to you, but it is a difference, no doubt. So here you can see the two pumps being weighed next to each other, and it's ironic how the plastic one, which should be lighter, is actually heavier. So maybe there's a little bit of extra material in there, whereas the all aluminium one, which should be heavier, is actually lighter. So that's the only thing I would say. Okay, so what are my thoughts? To be honest, there really isn't that much in them. They are both very similar, and for the most part, they use both the same bits and pieces. They use both same pulleys and stuff. There's only slight difference in the manufacturing of the belt, which I didn't get to show you because I actually lost that footage. But it's either or. The only thing I would say that really concerns me, that I think makes the difference for me, is the water pump. The fact that there was less movement in the more expensive water pump is the reason why I'd go for that, because water pumps are the main causes of timing belts snapping and breaking. People don't tend to change them for some reason, and a little bit of movement there will turn into a lot of movement. So the fact that the more higher quality, the premium band felt better, I would go for that one. So there you go, that's it. Hope that helps. You know, if you want to review any other products, let me know. That's it. Comment, rate, subscribe, and enjoy the video. Thank you for watching.